Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, got a few in already. Could you all sleep last night? Were you like me? Were you tossing and turning before you went to sleep last night, thinking about the possibilities of what can happen with this team under Neil Critchley? We seem to be getting better and better. Do you think? Well, I've got quite a few questions I'm going to ask you actually today as well to see what you think. I want to know your man of the match for yesterday. Who was your man of the match? Yates. I want to talk about Jerry Yates. The fact he's up to 13 goals now. He's getting near to the top of the charts on the League One goal scorers. Massive Virtue being back in central midfield. And, of course, the 2 penalties and the referee, of course. And do you think that was one of the best performances you've seen from Blackpool in a long time? So professional. Second half, I know it's 9 men, but, we just bossed the game from beginning to end, really, didn't we? Let's just go into the comment. Got Andy Ormerod here. Hello, Andy. First of all, he says we are the mighty Blackpool. Yes, we certainly are, Andy. So, first of all, man of the match for you guys. Who is your man of the match? I think I'm edging towards Ellis Sims. I thought that was the best game he's played for us in that role of being the Gary Madine, that sort of role. I thought he was dangerous. I thought he was causing Charlton all sorts of problems, and I think he really looked good. A goal would do the world of good, but 2 assists and everything, you can't complain. Obviously, I'm talking about Jerry Yates as well. Do you think Crit should have took him off, not give him a chance to get a hat trick? He seemed pretty happy in his tweet. I don't know if you saw his tweet on the way home last night. He was pretty excited about it. So I thought he was a bit upset going off, to be honest. Oh, half of me is missing. Tangerine Army, yes, half of me is missing. Jane writes a book and does all the writing on a Sunday. This is my show. The better half, brilliant. Andy Ormer said Gabby was class. So you're going for Gabriel as your man of the match? I was going to talk about him as well, because I think he's just getting better and better under Critch. I think he's so hard to beat as a right back. The left winger just can't get past him. He's so fast. He tracks back. He's dangerous going forward, and I think he's been a great addition. I also think Stewart as well has really changed things in midfield. I think he's a class player, although I was surprised to see Dougal out, but people have been saying that Dougal and Stewart are pretty much the same. They play the same sort of defensive kind of role in midfield, whereas Matty Virtue is very much box to box attacking, and I thought we looked better for Matty Virtue in, but I kind of like Dougal as well. So it's a bit of a conundrum, that one, for me, if I'm being honest. I don't know about you. Peter Donnelly said it was a great performance yesterday. Yes, it certainly was. It was probably one of the best, and the first time we've won in London, well, the first time we've won at Charlton since 1976. That's how good it was. Adam Clark is agreeing with me. He reckons Sims man of the match. Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. Shazza Harvey is here. Hi, Shazza. Dazza. Yes, Reece Jefferson says, what a goal by Matty Virtue. Yes, it was, and you knew he was going to... You knew the minute he got the ball and he pushed it forward that there was only one thing on his mind. He was going to have a shot, and it was, it was right in the bottom corner of the net, wasn't it? It was a great goal, a goal worthy to win any match. I know Lee Bowyer was in his match after match interview has been saying that he wasn't happy with the referee and he wasn't happy with the second penalty, but I think he was all over by then, to be honest. I think we were already in the ascendancy, and I think even if they hadn't gone down to 9 men, I still couldn't see Blackpool losing, if I'm being honest, yesterday. Ian Gilpin is going for Sims. Yep. Man of the match for Peter Donnelly. It's got to be Gabriel. Right. Okay. He did have a great game. In fact, I don't think there was a player on the pitch that had a bad game, and it was a surprise as well, because when when it was announced that Husband was injured just before kickoff and we had to shift again and have another defensive setup, it was amazing how well we did. I thought Thornley played very well, and to say he's one of these players that they said he could, they would let him go. Only a month or so ago, they said he was free to leave. Would you want him to leave now, or is he looking a really good player? Jacob Brown said it would be great if Gabriel comes back next year. Wouldn't it be great if we could just keep Gabriel? Geordie's here, the edgy ones. Sims for him, man of the match. Was happy we still held a strong midfield without Dougal. Also with Madine and CJ not far off a return, which will boost the squad and hopefully more points on the table. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am starting to get a little bit excited. I think before we went into this run of games, we had Ipswich away, we had Pompey away, we had Charlton away. I think a lot of people were saying that this was very much a sort of season-defining month, and I think the next two games are winnable. I know Crewe are decent, but I think we can beat Crewe, and I don't think AFC Wimbledon are much. So I think there's a definite 6 points on the table in the next two games. Then we've got Sunderland, obviously, which is going to be another. Sunderland playing quite well as well, but I think if we can get 6 points out of these next two games, we really are in with a shout. Andy Ormerod says he thinks if we go up, he may sign. Hope so. Shazza Harvey says we need to keep the momentum going. Totally agree with you. We do need to keep this momentum going. I mean, that's 3 wins on the bounce now. When was the last time we did that? Somebody will tell me. Have we done that already this season? 3 wins on the bounce? I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's very good. It could actually line Critch up for manager of the month, which is a bit worrying. Jacob Brown says, has there been any news on Jimmy Husband? I believe it was a calf injury. Don't think it's that serious. Peterborough Army, Ali, the Posh are 4 points ahead of second and going up. Well, you are, as long as you don't bottle it. Wong Kung Tai is here. Hello. 10 more wins is required. 71 points is the minimum for Blackpool to make it to the playoffs. So we've actually got, I think I was looking at it before, I think we've got 13 of the final games, is it, at home? So 10 wins are quite possible there. Ryan Dunbar says, can you please tell Chris Maxwell to drop the deck chair off at Blackpool Beach from yesterday, particularly the second half? I don't think he had a thing to do, did he, really, in the second half? He didn't have much to do the whole game, actually. The defence that was probably one of the most solid defensive performances I've seen from Blackpool in a long, long time. I know we're keeping clean sheets all the time, but they were really good yesterday. They were superb. Reece Jefferson says, are Fleetwood going down? Oh, wait, stupid question. Is that because they're definitely going down? Is that because they might not go down, Reece? I don't know. But they've got Larry in charge, so who knows? Who knows? David Turner says he thinks Kenny Dougal will be back in on Tuesday. I mean, that's the beauty of it, isn't he? I think Dougal was due a rest. I think he's played a lot of games without a rest, and I think it was a chance for him to rest. And I think that's a good thing as well, that we've got this squad. You know, a lot of people have called Critchley a tinker man, but at the end of the day, he's keeping all the players involved and they can just slot in. And you saw it yesterday, you know, with Husband getting injured, we just slotted Thornley in and it didn't really affect us at all, did it? And also, it looks like there's a very, very, very good team spirit in as well. Yes, floor filler. I think I've actually been talking to a Sunderland fan, and I think a lot of it will hinge on these two games against Sunderland, because obviously it could be them or us for a spot. And if we could, you know, if we can play well and beat Sunderland, well, at least come even Stevens, you know, win at home or loss away or whatever. But if we can win both, blimey, we really are in with a chance, aren't we? Adam Clark. Right. Says, I think it's easy to say that it was a great performance, but to be fair, Charlton was not looking great. I think something like the Hull game is more of an impressive performance, in my opinion. Okay, what Hull at home would you say was better than that? I mean, that was a great game as well. I think we knocked Hull back a little bit with that game, because I think we took them by surprise, because they did look a very good team, Hull, and they've not quite been as good, although they did have a good win yesterday, didn't they? So maybe they're starting to get their act together again. Peter Donnelly says that Thornley is starting to show class, would like to keep him. So would I, actually. I think he does look class. And he always said the most important thing is it's 3 clean sheets. Well, it is. It's, you know, if you can keep clean sheets and you can defend well, then you've always got a chance of a win, haven't you? Peter Barami saying, did we see we signed Stuart Moore? Is that the goalkeeper? Yeah, we signed him as cover. If that's the goalkeeper, yeah, we signed him in for cover. over just in case Maxwell gets injured and Critchley's not too sure that the young boys will be good enough for a playoff promotion push, if we do need it. Jacob Brown says, it absolutely baffles me that Larry got the job of an upcoming club. I'm sure that's a bit tongue-in-cheek there from Jacob. Mickey's, hi Mick. What is good when Hamilton and Madine come back? They're not guaranteed to start because everyone is fighting for a place in the squad, which is a great thing. Yes, it is. Competition for places is always really good. And will CJ and Madine get back in the way we're playing? Who knows? Shazza Harvey says, looking way, way ahead here and assuming we're going to Wembley, is it Shazza? Would there be fans at Wembley in the playoff final? Well, there's a darn good chance there would be if fans are going to be allowed back in. I mean, it wouldn't be a full house, it'd be restricted numbers, wouldn't it? They allowed 20%. Is that what it is? 20% of the attendance. So if Wembley can hold close to 100,000, you get 20,000 in, which would be pretty exciting, wouldn't it? Michael Haig is here. Hi, Michael. Thought it was a very professional performance yesterday. Sims had his best game for the mighty and looked a handful. Mystic Andrew is here. Hello, Andrea. From the Philippines. Nice to have you. Nice to have you in. Mystic Andrea. Sometimes it's my cousin from the Philippines who sometimes predicts the score for us in a mystic way. Nigel says we're going to need all the squad with all the games we have to play. Yes, we've got a lot of games to play. In fact, when you think we've got 19 games to go, so we're only just halfway through the season. So I think it's too soon to speculate. But looking at the way we're playing at the moment, I don't really fear any team at the moment, the way we're playing. I don't know if you guys do. Do you fear anybody? Lincoln away, maybe? Steve BFC 55 says that whoever comes into the team, they seem to play for the shirt. Well, I think there was evidence about that in the January transfer window when we just shipped out 5 players. And I think they don't want any bad influences in the dressing room. They don't want any negativity. And I think they're just shunting players out that don't want to be here. And I think that's great. I think that's a good thing. I think I was going to talk about Critchley, actually. I don't know what you guys think. There was going back to a few games into the season, people were doubting whether he could make the jump from under 23s to League One. But I think he's learning. I think he's learning all the time. I think he's enthusiastic. You can tell he loves the job. You can tell the players like him. Yeah, he's growing on me all the time. I mean, I really, really like him, if I'm being honest. I really like him. Floor Filler says, if we do get to the playoff final and it ends up being Poole versus Sunderland, it will be exciting times in my house, as the wife is a Sunderland supporter. Oh my God. That could be fun, Floor Filler. Michael Haig is in song. Are you, Michael? There we are, the Pool, and we're going up, and I just can't seem to get enough of you. Yeah. I saw that somebody posted a video of that on Twitter this morning. It got me all. Steve BFC saying, "Don't fear anyone; they should fear us." I totally agree with you at the moment. I'd be dreading Blackpool coming to players. If I'm honest, you're thinking who do you like? Mark, and you never know who we're going to play. I mean, it's very hard to look back even over videos because we've not been the same team, have we, for weeks and weeks and weeks. So, if they get the videos out to see how we play, every week it's a different team. So it's pretty hard to predict which team's going to turn up at your ground and what formation we're going to play and which players are going to play and who's going to be back. I think it's very exciting. Leon, John Potter, don't forget we have Keshi Anderson to come back. Is he not out for the season though, Leon? I think they said he was out for the season, had an operation. Jacob Brown says you've got to give Critcher a bow. First year in men's footy, and he's has all the team wanting to play for him and making us play exciting football. I totally agree. Do you agree? It is exciting football. I think it. Like yesterday was the first time where our dominance actually paid off, in the first 20 minutes, really. we got a penalty, and talking about that penalty as well, that one was a definite penalty for me. Nailed on. He had to give that penalty. Too sure about the second one, but the first one was a definite penalty for me. Michael Hayes said the Critchley masterstroke was in bringing Calderwood in to shore up the defence. That was his best signing this season. I think it's made a big difference. I think it's certainly. I think he's become more savvy, probably from advice from Calderwood, and even during the games, he's going to be giving him some advice and stuff. They're going to be talking between each other, and I think it was a masterstroke too. I totally agree with you. Nigel is saying this wasn't about just yesterday's performance, rather than a succession of performances. I totally agree. Barring Ipswich away, which was strange, and I still don't quite get that game, to be honest. Ipswich away, I don't know what happened there, but it is a succession of games. We've been pretty much on form since Christmas, haven't we? We had just that little blip at Christmas, which I don't know why Blackpool always has that little blip at Christmas. It's an annual thing, isn't it? Christmas is a bad time for us, but we have been on fire just coming up to Christmas, and also since Christmas. It was just that blip then, wasn't it? Yeah, Peter Donny says Keshi is out for the season. Michael Haig says an Eastbourne friendly with the Yorkshire Seasiders on tour. His lead Charles TV up for the mission. Tell me more about it. Eastbourne, bloody hell. When's that, Michael? Jeez. Vorville says, I think it's a plus point to have the ability of changing tactics and formations at the last minute, having loads of options available and keep the opponents guessing. Yeah, exactly. That's just what I was saying. You can't, as an opposition manager, you don't know what Blackpool team is going to be coming to play. You don't know how they're going to play. You don't know what formation they're going to play. You don't know what players are going to be in. We can switch players in, switch people out. Players know that, we've got people like Matty Virtue who is prepared to move around, but I think he definitely looks better in centre midfield. I like the attacking part of him. I thought Ward played well out on the right as well. I thought he played better than Matty Virtue on the right, if that makes sense. I thought that was a bonus. I like Garbutt at left back, if I'm being honest. I think he's a great left back. Really like him. I think he's a great player. In fact, the back four, even though we've changed them, they're great, aren't they? We've still got Grettarson maybe to come back. I don't think Marvin Ekpiteta will be back. I don't know if Husband can get back in the team, to be honest. Would you put him back in at the moment? Wong Kong Tai says that Simon Sadler said that he wanted Blackpool to get promoted within 3 years. Yes, he had. A lot of people were saying, we've got to do it next year, but I'm a great believer in if you're playing well, now's the time. If you can get up now, get up, because you never know what's going to happen next year. You never know what players are going to leave. You just don't know the situation. If you've got a chance, you've got to take it. And I think we've got a great chance. I think I said that in my midweek review as well. I was confident going into this game. I predicted before the game started, I predicted a 3-1 to Blackpool. I couldn't see us losing. I couldn't see Charlton with the form they were in. I had a little bit of a worry that Critch would go a bit negative like he did against Ipswich, bearing in mind that Charlton beat us at home. But I think it was great to get the 3 points back off them, because I thought it was a bit harsh on Husband, that sending off in the first minute of the game. I didn't think he really took him down. I thought it was more of a bit accidental, if I'm being honest. But anyway, it was just nice to get the 3 points back off him. Stephen Roberts is saying, thinks everybody needs to calm down on playoff talk. We've been doing fine under the radar, keep pressure off the team, don't want manager of the month for Critch. No, we really don't want manager of the month. I've got to agree with you on that. It's like a curse, isn't it? But I think the players are talking about playoff possibilities, if I'm being honest, because Jane went to there was a thing with the Blackpool Community Trust just for ladies, and they had Stuart in, and I think it's Matty Virtue and Stuart in, and they were talking about, they all fancy the playoffs. The players do. Paul McAllister says Critchley, just like any new manager, needs time. The performances were good at the start of the season, even if the result weren't. Well, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, the Plymouth game was just a travesty of justice. I thought we should have won that, and I didn't like the Gillingham game. I've said it before. I didn't like, the way they could, they use all that time wasting. And really, honestly, I can't wait to get Gillingham here. I hope we blooming batter him. If the results, if you're an under-23 coach at a Premiership, you're gonna be no mug. Well, I was saying to Jane, I don't know about whether you think about this, but they've got rid of Critch, and Liverpool are not doing quite as well as they were last season. How much of an influence was Critch at Liverpool? I know a lot of Liverpool fans were going mental that they'd let him go. They weren't happy, but of course they were hoping that he would do really well with us and he will be one for the future for Liverpool. And could that be something further down the line where we will lose Critch to Liverpool, which Ryan Blackpool says, how did you rate Kai yesterday? I think Critch is a big fan of him. If I'm being honest with Kai, when Garbutt's in, Garbutt takes over, doesn't he? He takes all the dead balls, and I think Kai likes doing all the dead ball stuff, and I think it affects him really. I think Garbutt didn't do much better than Kai on the dead ball. So, should you just leave Kai doing them? I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think he suffers a little bit mentally if he's not involved in those? Because he was like really bossing the show, wasn't he? Oh, there's a pre-season friendly to be arranged. Oh, well, there's a pre-season friendly. Yeah. If we can go to it. What's this, Steve? Friends need to keep their heads. Does that keep their heads if we have a dip in? Yeah, we do have to keep our heads. You don't want to get too upset if we don't make it, but I just think we've got a great chance. I really do. I think we've got a lot of games. Obviously, we've got to win these games in hand, but we've got lots of games in hand. We can really, if we win the games in hand that we've got on the teams just above us, they're going to be miles behind us. It's going to be such a separation between the top and the ones down below. So it's just those top teams, and they've all got to play each other. Surely, there's got to be some of these teams at the top have got to play each other. So Michael Haig says that Dougal and Stewart cannot play together. Well, they have played together. Not quite. I mean, they were playing together at Pompey. They looked okay. I thought they looked all right. Husband got a car strain, so should be okay for Tuesday. Joe Bottomley says, will the big three that are out at the moment be available for the Fleetwood game? Kind of hope so, don't you? I'm really looking forward to Larry coming back to Bloomfield Road. It's going to be great, isn't it? Especially if we can stop him. Michael Haig says that Crewe could be a potential banana skin. Crewe are good football inside. Crewe's Achilles heel is they're not great up top. Well, if they're not great up top, they're going to struggle to score because we are playing so fantastic in defence. I fancy us against Crewe, Michael. I always do. I always think we can win. I mean, you watch this team and you think we're definitely capable of beating any team in this league. On our day, we are capable. We are a scary team. We're fast. I mean, the way we battled against Charlton, they just couldn't cope with us in that first 20 minutes. We were just, I think that was the most battling performance and most tackles won that I've seen from Blackpool in a long, long time yesterday. I thought they were to a man for that first 20 minutes. They were just closing Charlton down all over the pitch and they just couldn't get out. Charlton. It was brilliant. Stephen Roberts thinks all these games in hand are going to bite us back. So I certainly hope you are wrong, Steve. I hope they don't bite us at all. Nigel fears more injuries in defence. Hope not. We've got some young lads in defence, aren't we now? We're all pretty young. I think we should be okay. Shazza Harvey said we have some great youth players. Have we got any youth players that can come in at centre half if needs be? Michael Haig says that Gerrard will be the next Liverpool manager for sure. You could be right there, Michael. Claire Bartle says that squad rotation now is the name of the game until the end of the season. Fixture pile-up is going to get intense. Yes, it is. So the good thing is we've been squad rotating all the time. So it's not like it's something, we're not used to. We've been people calling the Tinker Man, but maybe he was seeing into the future and knew we had all these games coming up, and rotating the squad has got them all, they're all buzzing to play, and I think He's a genius. Nigel says, give Critch the credit for changing his philosophies. Yeah, is that from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2? We do look better as a 4-4-2 team. Donnelly says that Kai is a bit hot and cold for me. On his day, he's fantastic, but he can go missing in others. Yeah, he is a little bit. He's not always as brilliant every week, but he's still a dangerous player. I think he's a dangerous player to bring off the bench as well. Jacob Brown says it's crucial that we win the games in hand because it will give the squad and fans so much momentum. Yes, it will. We've got to win the games in hand if we're going to stand any chance of getting to playoffs, because if we don't, we won't be in them. Michael Haig says, I prefer Matty Virtue partner with Stewart than Dougal. That is what I meant to say. Well, looking at yesterday, yeah, Matty Virtue looks like he's coming back to full fitness, and he looked really good. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know whether you noticed it. I don't know if you watched Matty Virtue's interview yesterday after the game. He looks a lot happier in himself than he did when I saw him, when obviously Simon Grayson was here. There's, the players do look a lot happier, and Matty Virtue really did looked a lot brighter and a lot happier on his interview. I thought after the match yesterday, if you've seen it. And John Butterworth says, do we think the likes of CJ, Madine and Grettarson will get straight back into side with us doing so well? No, I don't think they'll get straight back in. If they'll be put on the bench and they'll be given time to prove themselves. And it only needs that one game, doesn't it, where we're 0-0, they come on and we win 3-0 or something, and they'll be back in the team. I don't think it'll be long before they are back as regulars. If CJ Hamilton is anything like the way he was playing at the start of the season, combined with the way that the team are playing now, rather than how we were playing at the start of the season, and the confidence that you can see in the team, I thought there was a swagger to the team yesterday. A sort of an invincibility. They just knew they were too good for Charlton, and I like it when a team starts to know they're too good and have that confidence. And I thought it shone all over the pitch yesterday that Blackpool are really confident. Harvey Davies says, good game, Atlee. How are you feeling about this result? I'm feeling fantastic about this result. I mean, Charlton imploded on themselves. I think they were so angry at half time, and the two sending offs were a bit stupid, really. But, heads had gone for Charlton. They were getting lots of booking. The referee, if I'm going to talk about the referee, was probably my favourite referee in a long time. If I was being honest, he was probably had a tangerine shirt on underneath his black one, because he was certainly awarding us a lot of stuff and not giving them very much, but we'll take it. We don't get many referees like that, do we? It's normally the way around. We're normally moaning about them like anything. Let me just go back up. Let me just go back up to where I was. Right. Wonkong Tai. Hi, Wonkong Tai. If Blackpool doesn't get promoted either this or next season, Neil Critch and Simon Sadler are in trouble. I don't think that's a problem. I think we are going to get promoted either this season or next. I still fancy us for this. Stephen Roberts says, in the next 6 games, the only one I'm worried about is Oxford away. Yeah, and we never do well there, do we? So it's about time we put that one to bed as well. We've done a few. In fact, actually, do we fear these top clubs away? We've played so well away against top clubs this season. It's been unbelievable. I mean, we lost to Bristol Rovers away, for God's sake, but Shrewsbury Town, but, we've played Portsmouth, Hull a draw away. We've beaten Peterborough away. Did we beat Peterborough? I can't double check on that one, but we have been playing really, really well away, and I think we play really well away from home. Steve BFC 53 says Crewe only got a point after being 2-0 up. Yes, they did, and according to a Sunderland fan I was talking to, Sunderland had 2 worldies. I've not actually seen the game, but it was 2 worldy goals to get them back in it. So we'll have to see. Shazza Harvey says Critch will leave for Liverpool. Well, maybe after Gerrard. Let's hope he stays for us and build something here, because I'm sure he can see the potential of what's going to be happening at Blackpool, especially with the youth setup, which I'm sure he's really thrilled about. And if he gets us up, he'll definitely be staying. Wow. Little Matt talks footy. Hello, little Matt. I honestly feel automatics are on. Got to beat Crew though. Well, yeah, starting there, but yeah, there's still a chance of automatics. We're not out of it yet, are we? We've just got so many games in hand that we can't really see that full picture, and until probably about 4 weeks from now, we're going to have an idea of whether it's playoffs or not playoffs or automatic. We'll know more in about 4 weeks, I think, especially after we've played Sunderland twice. I think that's the key. Michael says, Stuart being the defensive player running the show and Virtue roaming forward. Virtue is a great player. Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't think Dougal's bad in that role either. I think Dougal's, I thought Dougal changed the way that, changed the fortunes of Blackpool. I know a lot of people say Colin Calderwood, but I think getting Dougal in was really good. But I'll tell you what, this Stuart is, I don't know how we've managed to get this lad. Jane there was like a Zoom conference call with Stuart, with just with ladies from Blackpool, with the Blackpool Community Trust, and they were talking to Stuart, and apparently he had a deal lined up with a club abroad, is what he said, and it all fell through, and Critchley was in contact with him all the time, and he just got to a stage where he was just desperate to sign for anybody. And of course, Critch had been keeping in touch with him, so he signed for Blackpool. It was like, I might as well sign for Blackpool. I've not got a club. I think we're very lucky to get this Stuart. I think he is a class above anything we've had before. Haley's here. Hello, Haley. How are you doing? You're still in love with Paul. Michael Haig says that Grettarson is still not ready for 2 to 3 weeks. Well, that's all right. He can, at the moment, we're doing okay without him. He'll be there for the push in, won't he? He'll be there when we need him. Claire Bartle says she does. After yesterday, had another 2007 coming on. Perfect 10, anyone? How about a perfect 19? Well, no, it'd be perfect 22. A perfect 22. Here we are. Reese is a Sunderland fan I was talking about. Yes, come on, Sunderland. Reese is a Sunderland fan. He's been telling us that he fancies Sunderland. So, Sunderland could be in our way. We're at Blackpool in the table. We're up to 12th, I think. Now, are we 12th in the table? Let's have a look. I'll have a look at somebody be able to tell me. I think we're 12th, but we're only a point behind about 3 or 4 teams, and we've got like 4 games in hand on them. So we're in a false position at the moment. Stephen Roberts says he can see CJ and Madine on the bench next Saturday. Yep. Michael Haig says it makes a change to the normal 1-0 win, where we are normally hanging on at the end of each game when we have not killed a lot of teams off in the past. Well, I think with regards to, I think Charlton just self-imploded, didn't they, really, to be honest? It all completely went wrong in that second half for him. So, we would, people were posting in the comments at half-time yesterday that, oh, God, remember we were 2-0 up against Doncaster. Remember what they did? They came out and changed it. There was this little bit of fear in the back of everybody's minds about the Doncaster game. But, of course, Charlton came out, and within 2 minutes, they had a man sent off. They just imploded, didn't they, completely? And it was never going to be difficult. And in fact, to be honest, it wasn't as exciting. We weren't as excited during the commentary. I said to Jane, really, we weren't excited enough because we were playing so well, and we should have been a little bit more excited than we were. You can't always rely on just wonder goals all the time to keep you up. And looking back on it, we were just superb in that second half. We were incredible. We really were. I know it was against 9 men. Martin Bates, hiya, Martin. Shouldn't have booked Yates. Nobody knows why he got booked, and it's a shame he got booked, because I think that's why Critchley took him off, because he was he seems to have this fear of referees doing daft things and sending a player off and evening it up. So he took Yates off, and I thought it would have been nice to leave Jerry Yates on to try and get his hat trick. Yeah, we did beat Peterborough away. Yes, I thought we did. So, we have done very well away at top clubs. Haig says that Blackpool simply do not fear anyone in this league now. They don't. I totally agree with you. You could see it yesterday, couldn't you? You could see there was, I don't know if you could see it, but there was a definite sort of belief, a sort of nonchalant swagger, and they were just all over Charlton from the kickoff to the end. They were all over, and they never gave any space. It was just a great performance. AJT is saying we were shit. Fair play to you lot. Maybe help us with getting Bowie out of the door. Yeah, you were. You did play poorly, I must admit, and you kind of self-combusted in the second half. I thought that, if I'm being honest, I thought the second penalty was very cheap, but it was already won by then anyway. It wouldn't have made any difference. Yes, Reece said we have to watch the Sunderland and Crew game, which we all should watch actually, just to see, because we got Crew on Tuesday, so you might as well watch it. And apparently Sunderland scored 2 worldies, according to you, Reece. Is that right? Well, we'll have to look at it. Arsenal for life is here. You beat Leicester. That's good for you. That is really good for Arsenal. What's the feeling in Arsenal at the moment? It's not been so good since you got rid of Wenger, has it really? And yet you all wanted Wenger out. So I don't know what you all feel now down there at Arsenal. Stephen Woolley is actually predicting already. Peterborough 1, Blackpool 2. We beat them last time they came here. It was a great game, wasn't it? And that was with Larry. We beat them 4-3. I think we can beat anybody. Really do. I 69 said my boss was a dyslexic knobber. He wore a cat flap on his head. Michael Haig says Stewart has been the find of the season. Yeah, I mean, how do we find these players? We're all unhappy about the transfer window that we didn't bring people in, and all of a sudden after the transfer window we bring somebody in like him. Unbelievable. Burnley are 3 down, are they? What's a shame. What a shame. Stephen Roberts agrees with me. Once we've played both Blunderland games, we'll know what needs to be done for the Autos or playoffs. Don't want them at Wembley. No, we don't, do we really? We could do without them. But then again, it'd be good if we do another series of Sunderland till I die. It could be if we beat them. Well, it's either going to be a great Sunderland to die if it's playing against us and they get up, isn't it? Or it's going to be another disaster end to the series. Beardall says Stewart is great. He never gives the ball away, and Yates has improved so much. Yes, he has. It's Ramos is here. Hello, George. I hope you are buzzing. I haven't watched your video yet. I'm sure you'll have done a review. I'll check it out later. If you haven't yet subscribed to It's Ramos, he is great. He's one of my favourite vloggers. He's a Blackpool vlogger. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Great result, Lee. Fingers crossed we can keep it up against a very good attacking Crew outfit on Tuesday from our next 6 of Crew, Wimbledon, Milton Keynes Dons, Fleetwood, Burton and Oxford. 4 wins needed. Well, looking at those, I think we'll beat Crew. I think we're too good for Crew. I think we'll beat Wimbledon. MK Dons are a funny side. We'll stuff Fleetwood. Burton, although they are having a little bit of a revival, aren't they, under Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank? And we've got Oxford, which is a tricky one. So I'm going to take the 4 wins from Crew, Wimbledon, Fleetwood and Burton, and maybe a draw with MK Dons. And I don't know about Oxford. We don't win there very often, do we? They're not a lucky side for us, Oxford. So that's what I'm thinking there on that, George. I'd like to win all 6 of those, if I'm being honest. Michael Haig saying how good is Yates proving to be with his dancing feet. Nothing more than, I mean, he is absolute. You can't score the goals that Jerry Yates scores without being a damn good player, because those 2 goals that he scored, the little jink in the box, beating 3 or 4 defenders, turning them inside out, going around the goalkeeper, sliding it on an angle, and of course, the one at Pompey away where he just, they got up off the floor really, then he charged down, took 3 on, and just was a wonder strike from that angle, right in the far corner. He is a damn good striker. And they were saying on the, I don't know if you've watched it yet, the Blackpool preview show, but Jed Mills said, people are liking Jerry Yates to a young Brett Ormrod, and yeah, I'm with that, totally with that. Blackpool 13th in the league, okay, but we won't be for much longer. Reece said he'd rather have points than games in hand. Yes, of course. We all know that. We'd all rather have points than games in hand, but we're not in the situation to have points in the bag. We've had so many games cancelled, so unfortunately we're in that situation. We've got games in hand, but I think we're good enough to win them. Dennis Hutch is here. Hi, Dennis. Dennis says Madine travelled to Charlton, so I'd expect him to be in the squad on Tuesday with another 3 days. Maybe so. And what about Hamilton? Hamilton obviously didn't go down there, but he must be getting closer. let's hope they are both back pretty soon. Michael says the problem was we took the foot off the gas in the second half. I think probably the instructions were sent from Critchley onto the pitch that we've got a tough game coming up on Tuesday. We don't want any more injuries. The game's won. Just keep hold of the ball. And we did a bit of Ole football towards the end, didn't we? We were just holding the ball and passing it around, just keeping possession, and we didn't risk anything. Nobody got injured. Pitch was cutting up, people said. So, maybe they were saving themselves for Tuesday night to make sure that we're a full team against Crewe, because I think we need to be. Reese says we don't fear anyone until Sunderland. No, we don't fear Sunderland either, Reese. We don't fear anybody. We don't fear anybody in this league. On our day, we can beat anybody in this league. If you meet Blackpool playing, the way we know how to, the way we're playing at the moment, and we play to the top of our game, we're a damn good team. Michael said it was a correct substitution by Critch to take Yates off as he had been booked. Okay. He didn't seem too unhappy on his tweet on the coach home, so I think he was all right. George, again, it's Ramos. We look like we had a real authority to our play yesterday, like it was our home ground almost. Dominated from the off, really. Yep, that's more or less mirrored exactly what I've been saying. We've got a swagger, haven't we? We've got a confident swagger in the team. We look like we know we can beat teams. We look like, if you listen to Critchley's interview after, he does actually say that, they've been obviously... They knew how to beat Charlton, I think was more or less what he said. So they'd obviously been watching them, and, they had a plan to beat them, and it all seemed to go completely to the script. Reese again. The last Worldie was 97 minutes, was it? And I had a chance to win at the end. Blooming out. Right, okay. Lawrence Edwards, we should be fearing Sunderland then, Rich. Is that what you're saying? We'll see. May the best team win. Lawrence Edwards said, hi Lee, what a great win. We can get in the playoffs now. Yes, we can. Dennis Schutz says the referee was better placed for the second red than the first. You couldn't really see it on iFollow. No, you couldn't see what happened. I do believe it was a bit of afters after they went down, which was sad if he did. If he's lost his head in that way, it was a shame, wasn't it, really? Michael A said, good. I don't know who is worse, the Dingles or the Cods. Tramstock. There's only one answer to that, Michael. Burnley, isn't it? Burnley, much more of a rival to us than Fleetwood, even though Fleetwood are our local derby. But you never know. Might not be our local derby soon, and we may never play them again, which would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be nice if we didn't have to play Fleetwood ever again? So they can stuff the derby. Maybe get them in a cup game. Steve BFC 53 says nobody wants Poole in the playoffs. No, seeing as we are the playoff kings, aren't we? You wouldn't want Blackpool in the playoffs. Nigel says that Dougal was and is an awesome signing. I think Critch will start with him and Stewart, but Critch also likes Matty Virtue, doesn't he? Blake says Milton Keynes Dons are a big physical side. Well, if they are a big physical side, those were the kind of team that used to frighten us, but I don't think they do anymore. I don't think we're frightened by big physical sides anymore. And Michael Haig also says that Oxford are on the slide. Well, that's good to know. Where did we get Yates from, says Shazza? We got him from Swindon. Or actually, was he on loan at Swindon? I think he was... If I remember rightly, he might have been with Rotherham on loan at Swindon. They wanted to buy him, and we wanted to buy him, and we got him, but they'd had him on loan for a season. I think he was from Rotherham. I think that's probably more accurate. Lee Blakeborough is here. He says, hi, Lee. It will be a tricky choose without Madine available with Sims playing a blinder yesterday. A tricky choice, yeah. Is that with Madine available, do you mean? And Sims playing a blinder yesterday. I think if Madine comes back and he's fit enough, it all depends at the end of the day is how fit he is and whether they just want to nurse him back in slowly and give him a bit of game time and get his fitness up, because he's had this problem in his groin for a long time, hasn't been playing with it. So I suppose what they don't want to do is damage him any further. So I suppose they probably will ease him back in gently. I don't think he'll be on from the start, or they may start with him and take him off, and just bring him on as a bit part player until he gets his fitness back. Yoki saying, how's the merch going? We're not selling as many as Sainsbury's, but there's been a couple of sales. That's all. We're not. It's not something that's gonna take off selling thousands. It would be good, wouldn't it? It's 1,000 Lee Charles TV tops, but it's going. It's going okay. Claire Bart says, on the subject of Yates, he is a reincarnation of Johan Cruyff. Yes, he did do a Johan Cruyff turn, didn't he? CBSC, why can we not be unbeaten to the end of the season? It would be a big ask. It would be lovely to see. I'd take that right now. We're unbeaten to the end of the season. Well, if we were unbeaten to the end of the season with all the home games we've got, I think you'd be talking about automatic if we did that. Reece Jefferson is here. He's a United fan. Hi, Reece. And you got a cracking game today versus Chelsea. Yeah, that is a good game. How are United feeling about at the moment? You've sort of turned it all around, haven't you, United? I don't really follow it much, to be honest. Peter Donnelly says, I hope we stuff the Newtown lot. Yeah, I will, because they beat us last year, didn't they, at Bloomfield Road, that 1-0, and like the only thing they did my head in. Lee Blakeborough would love to see CJ back. It's Ramos. George, did you think? I don't think they're going to put. I think Sims did play really, really well yesterday, and he showed how dangerous he was. And I think that was his best game so far. I mean, taking away the Wigan game where he just came on when we're 3-0 up and Wigan were gone. He's got 2. I mean, he could have had a hat-trick really in that game. Showed how dangerous he was against coming on late on. But I think for him starting a game, that was definitely his best performance. And the Charlton commentators were waxing lyrical about him as well, and they thought I think they gave him man of the match as well. And I don't think Madine will be coming back in for 90 minutes for a while. And I'm sure they're going to be careful with him and make sure he doesn't, have any reoccurrence of the injury. And so I think Sims will probably start Madine off the bench, maybe. Spell checker. Sorry. Harry said, didn't realise that. We've got you two games almost back to back. So we'll see. Michael Haig says it's not a derby, never will be, to the Trams top team down the road. Maybe we'll never play them in a derby ever again if we get up. I can't ever see Fleetwood getting out of this division. They've peaked. I've said it before. If Blackpool getting back in the Championship, then Fleetwood might as well pack up, and they've no chance. They've already most of the fan base is from Blackpool fans who were disillusioned with the Oystons and then were through there not a penny more and went to watch Fleetwood, and that's where quite a lot of their fan base is. And honestly, if Blackpool get into the Championship, who are you going to watch? Fleetwood or Blackpool playing Nottingham Forest? Or it's a no-brainer for anybody living in this area. CAFC Max is here. Hi, Max. He says, we are the worst. Sack Bowyer. Our owners lots to sort out. Contracts manager, loads good luck for the rest of the season. I have heard, or I don't know if you've seen the interview that I did with Tyler Rowlandson, but there's rumours that Kirbishley may be coming back in for you guys. I'm sure you would all love that. Yeah, yes, definitely. Peter Donnelly says, wonder who's behind the Positively Crits Twitter account. There is some comedy gold on there. Yeah, if you haven't followed him on Twitter yet, check out Positively Crits. I think it's at Positively Crits. Is it at Positively Crits? But yeah, it is. It's really good. Steve Woolley says, against Joey Barton's side last game of the season, it would be funny if we had to win to get into. It'd be even funny if we had to win to get automatic, and we beat Joey Barton. It can't seem. We have the hoodoo over him, don't we? So that would be interesting. Yeah, I think so, Max. I'm afraid to say, I don't think you're going to get in the playoffs. I don't think you are in a good enough sort of frame of mind to turn around the way things are going at Charlton. I think Bowyer will go. depends on how much they've got to pay him off, I suppose, at the end of the day. But I think Bowyer will either go, or he's maybe done enough to keep Charlton up, so they won't do anything until the close season. But I really can't see Charlton. You've played so many more games than the teams around you, and once all them games are played, you're just going to go probably. Your position is going to go down to around mid-table, isn't it? So I think the way you're playing, I don't think you can. Yeah, Yates was from Rotherham. Yes, he was. Says Ryan completely off topic. And Ryan says completely off topic, but watching the darts from Bolton, one of the players was on YouTube, was saying he was watching their game, yet from hotel, yet in the pool hotel, you have to leave room during the game. Different rules, isn't it, for these other sports, which is weird. Oh, Ben Akelmarks. You're having a Sunday roast dinner. Hope you have a good afternoon, good evening, and I've just liked your channel, and I've just replied to your channel, add this, and added a sub to your channel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There you go. Ben's done it. If you haven't already done it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It all helps us. Denny Jones says, great. I saw Beyonce wearing a Lee Charles hoodie on MTV. Fantastic news. I wanted to come up with no, sorry, it wasn't Beyonce. It was David Van Day. Thank you very much, Dennis. Thank you very much. Kay Bristow is here. Hello, it's nice to see Blackpool playing sexy football, but still keeping a solid defence. A big up to Critchley. Yes, it is nice, isn't it? And it's finally nice to see our sexy football actually getting some goals as well, because that's important as well. A lot of times we've dominated teams, we've failed to score, and we've struggled or we've hung on. But yesterday, I thought we looked a damn good team. In fact, I thought we looked a good team at Portsmouth, but I thought we looked a super team at Charlton yesterday. Spurs 3, Burnley 0 at half time. Oh dear. Even Crammy's here. Hello, Stephen. Afternoon, Lee. Great result yesterday for the Pearl. Do you think Neil Critchley and Colin Cole will stay for the longer term to create a squad who can compete at championship level if Blackpool achieve this goal? I absolutely do think. I think they've bought into the long-term plan that they were sold by the club. I think they see the club are moving towards creating academy and a better training facilities. I just think everything's positive with Blackpool. They see an owner that's a positive owner who wants things to go right for Blackpool. You wouldn't say managers who came to Blackpool with the Oystons in charge would feel that way. There wasn't that feel good factor around the club. I think there's lots of things being done behind the scenes everywhere that show we're going places, from the changing rooms to even the way they're doing. And even if you watch the Friday preview show, that room with a big Seasiders sign on everything, it's all just looks more professional, more upmarket. If the East Stand does get done, it's going to be a great ground. I think the future's bright, and the future is Tangerine, of course. But Darlington says, I think this season, with how much rotation is needed, you don't have to worry about who gets in. At the end of the season, who we keep or get rid of will be interesting. Yes, it will. One Rovers Vlogs is here. Hello, One Rovers Vlogs. How did Rovers get on yesterday? Did you win? I think you won. I think you're turning it around down there. Dennis says he thinks we're lucky that we didn't lose Thornley on deadline. Yeah, exactly. I think it was great that we didn't lose him, and they kind of said they'd let him go, but he looks a great player to me. I hope we keep him. I really do. I think it'd be a big loss if we lost him. Oh, right. Okay. So Ryan says what he meant was the player could watch the Bolton game from the Bolton FC hotel. But in the Blackpool FC, if you have a pitch view room, you can't. You have to close the blinds and leave the room. Don't know why that is, Ryan. I would have thought there would have been a rule where you couldn't watch it from your hotel, unless they pay extra to watch the game as well from the rooms. I don't know. Maybe we don't charge people any extra for having a pitch side room. But obviously the deal is they can't watch the game if they do. The Blaker said, I was impressed with Jordan Thornley coming on the last minute and played very professionally after he was told he could go in January. Yeah, he's actually played very well in every game he's been on. Whether he's determined to play for his place, maybe that's it. Maybe they've said, prove yourself to us now, and maybe that's what he's doing. Dennis Schultz says to Ryan, if I was staying at Bolton, I'd shut the curtains while they were playing. Yeah, so would I. Yeah, you did. You beat Shrewsbury 2-1. Okay, so you are getting yourselves out of it, aren't you? Do you think Joey Barton's made a difference? Are you liking him already? Yeah, Frankie Cameron is saying I'm a season ticket holder for Blackpool. I actually have 4 season tickets for Blackpool and can't go, so it's cost us a fortune this year. But at the end of the day, the club I love, and if I can give any money to help them out, I don't really mind. To be honest, I'm watching them on iFollow. We've saved a lot of money. Probably the money like Jane and I have spent on the 4 season tickets, we've saved in the fact that we haven't had to go away. And you can see on, I don't know if you ever read any of Jane's vlogs, but the price of, I think it was about £140 to go down on the train to this game this week, and it's a hell of a lot of money to go on the train. Oh, Peter Donnelly says the hotel opens up to hospitality seats. So there you are. So you can't watch it from your bedroom, but you get a hospitality seat. So that's all right, isn't it? Stephen Cram, keep us up to date on Wakefield Trinity. They're planning to do the same as Blackpool FC. Let me just go back to that. Actually, the same as Blackpool FC, increased matchday revenue streams. Michael Carr and John Minards are respected like your own at Blackpool FC. It is called ambition to create a legacy. Yes, that's exactly what I would do. If I had been a billionaire, or I'd have won the Euro Millions or something, and I was owner, I'd want to create a legacy as well. That's what I want to do. Alexis Thornley was rated highly when playing for Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong yesterday, did he? He played great. The defence were wonderful. Right, let's look. Michael makes. Mark says, I'll keep on looking at the live chat for you. And if Blackpool does go up this season, which league will Blackpool be in? We will be in the Championship, just one division below the Premier League. And we've done it before. We can do it again. I just never managed to break in. No, he's into the first team properly. Blackpool played good money for him. Yeah, so maybe he will. Maybe this is his chance to shine. Maybe he will get into the team. There's a couple of things on my list here. What did you think of the 2 red cards yesterday? Did you think that the second one was justified? I know Bowyer is complaining, saying that they're going to appeal it because he just went up as a normal striker would do. But did you think that was a sending off? I can't really talk about the first one because you couldn't really see whether there was after it. Jack Barham is saying a new owner at Ipswich and Paul Cook. Is Paul Cook coming in at Ipswich? If that is happening, you've definitely got more of a chance. Jack, I would say. And is the new owner in situ or is that still in negotiations? Because I know we were talking to some Ipswich fans on our video before the Ipswich game, which you can see last season's Ipswich game. And they were really adamant they wanted the owner out. Life of Kieran says, what do you think about the new keeper we signed? I think he's just a backup. I think that's exactly what he is. He's a backup. I think they've said, and don't quote me on this, but I think they said that he's backup for Maxwell. Obviously, if there's any injuries to the keeper, we've got a very tough run in. He doesn't want to throw the 2 young kids into a promotion push end of the season. He doesn't want to have young kids in goal, and I think he's right. You don't want to be putting young kids in if Maxwell's injured, but if Maxwell isn't injured, he's such a fantastic keeper that there's no chance of him getting in. Lee Blakeborough says, I am a Blackpool born and bred, just like me, and have had Tangerine blood in my veins all my life. Yep, but you live down south, so no point in being a season ticket holder, but I've watched every match and I follow this season. It's probably been one of your favourite seasons, would it be then, as an exile, because you've managed to see every game, which is great. And I think I kind of hope in a way, I don't know if they will, but when fans are back, will they keep iFollow going for exiles, or will the clubs want to obviously get rid of it because they don't want people watching everything on iFollow, do they? Do we think the Ipswich Town manager can get the actress manager? Could get sacked all. Quite sure what I mean. I think maybe a spell check there. I think they want Paul Lambert to go, but then again, he won yesterday at Ipswich, so who knows? Michael Haig actually says though that 99% sure that's very sure that a Paul Lambert is heading for the exit door as and when the takeover takes place at Ipswich, and Paul Cook is earmarked to take over. Well, there you are in the box of toys. Michael normally knows his stuff. Pete Blakeborough says that he goes to any matches that are south of Birmingham. Obviously being an exile, so you do get to away games. Was he LFC? Hello, was he LFC? Hey, mate, sub to your channel. Back when the other pool put 7 on you guys. Yes, you did. Yeah, but we did change half a team for you to score 7 against us. We changed the whole team in the second half. So, yeah, and you were mean bags. Jane said you were mean bags on that day. You didn't need to put 7 past us. In fact, that's what kind of... I think that did us in a little bit at the start of the season, that 7-2 at Liverpool. I don't think it was the greatest game. Maybe looking back in hindsight, it wasn't a great game to play because it did just knock the confidence at the start of the season where we were quite confident. Says, jokes aside, you guys are playing some good football and good luck for the season. Stay safe. Thank you very much. All the way from Ars. Cheers. Was he? What's gone wrong at Liverpool? Is it because Critcher's gone? We were saying this before. Was Critcher a really big factor at Liverpool? And have we got a genius managing us? Because it does seem that way at the moment. Is this right? Madine is out of the contract at the end of the season. I do believe he is, but I also do believe he's quite happy here. He's enjoying his time. So maybe, fingers crossed, we can keep him. Yeah, Michael, I actually noticed yesterday that Charlton have their own channel. Yes, they did. I think a lot of clubs are looking into that because nobody knows even now whether we're going to have full attendances back next season, do we? We don't know how this thing is going to bloody pan out, do we? Would I start Madine when he's back? No, I wouldn't. I would ease him back in. He's been injured. He's been suffering with this groin injury for a while. So let's make sure he's really fit and he doesn't have a recurrence of it. So I would treat him with kid gloves, if I'm being honest. Wrap him up in cotton wool. Blakeborough says that iFollow is available for matches that are played other than Saturday afternoon. I would imagine that a lot of people will continue watching iFollow because it's something that people didn't watch, or I would say not a majority of people watched iFollow, but we're all used to it now, aren't we? We've all got used to watching iFollow. It's going to be a shame, really, that we won't be able to do watch-alongs with you guys because we quite enjoyed that, but there are other things in the pipeline. So. Stephen Cram said, love one day to attend a Blackpool match. Great supporters and loyal towards the club, similar to Wakefield. Well, we'd love to have you here one day. We'll certainly meet up with you. Ben Akelmart says, can we please do some Premier League predictions? I wouldn't even know who's playing, Ben. We don't follow the Premier League. And we're in League One. I just don't follow it. I don't follow it at all. So the only time I followed the Premier League was when Blackpool were in it. It's just something I'm just not interested in. I've always just enjoyed watching, my team and how my team go on. It's my obsession in life. Everything of mine has always been focused on Blackpool and what they're doing, and my moods are affected by Blackpool's ups and downs and all the rest of it, and they can destroy my weekend. But I don't even like the Premier League. Even when we were in it, I didn't really enjoy the Premier League. I enjoy being on TV all the time, but I just thought it was such a swizz league. I thought they swizzed us out of everything. I thought there was so many decisions that went against us in that Premier League. It was a disgrace. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the moving the games round. I've said it before. From one day, you're playing City on a Saturday, then you're playing them on a Sunday. You rearrange things, and just don't like it. Don't like playing matches on Monday nights much. I don't like. I like Saturdays kick off at 3:00. That's football for me. Oh, all right. But Johnson just watched it back on the red cards on the highlights. It looks like an elbow to the face on the straight red. And the first was they stamped on our player. Well, there you go. They just self-imploded. As I said, they completely self-imploded, Charlton. I don't know. I just don't know what happened. But Darlington said he thought iFollow was always available to people outside of the UK, no matter when it was. I don't know because I've never watched anything on iFollow until this season. I'd never even heard of it. What do you think our squad would do in the championship? Well, I'm pretty certain if we did get up, I think they'll strengthen it. So I don't think we'd have exactly the same squad. Whether they'd be good enough for the championship, I don't know. You'd have to see a few games, but they're certainly very good. There's some. This is one of the best Blackpool teams that we've seen since the Holloway days. Honestly, it's exciting. This team is exciting, and now they're getting the habit of scoring, and we're in plus goal difference now, aren't we? So I think we do all right. I think we do all right. Yeah, I don't particularly watch grassroots football. I have started watching it. It's Jane that's got me into watching the non-league stuff because she was secretary at Chase Town, and she fell in love with the non-league scene. And I've got to say, if you get a chance to go and watch non-league football, you'll love it. You will. I swear you will absolutely love it. It's like football, how it should be in many ways. It's all, the players are not on any kind of like money, very small wages, and they're playing because they want to play football. They're really friendly. You can, particularly for me, filming, it's fantastic because they actually, they want you to go and film, they want you to go and film the match and give them a bit of a plug, and they're all willing to talk to you. And yeah, and they're all the people that are at non-league are all volunteering, and they're all love the club, and they die for the club, they do anything for the club. And it's wonderful. And the other thing I've said before that I quite like about it is, it's not in a stadium, so all around you is darkness. You've got the floodlights, but there's no stadium, so you're in this, and it kind of takes you back to being a kid playing on the park somehow. I can't quite describe it, but it's a really great feeling to be sort of in the outdoors with all the darkness around you. It's really cool. Yeah, Lee Blakeborough is with me. Blackpool is all. Yeah, it's mine. I've never had any interest in the Premier League. It's just never interests me, these big clubs, and watching football on TV, really has not been my thing. I've quite enjoyed iFollow, to do all this with you guys, but I'd much rather be at a match. I couldn't be a Premier League home fan watching it on TV all the week and say I'm a Man United fan and I watch them on TV. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. Yeah, so the ability to say Sunderland were 2 down yesterday, and Sunderland came back to draw 2-2. Yeah, it was a very good draw for Sunderland, and they're showing that they have got a little bit of steel in them, and I think they're the main ones we're looking at the moment. As if we end up getting the playoffs, I think Sunderland are going to be the team we may well have to beat, to get up. I just fear them probably more than any of the other teams that may be getting in the playoffs. If we can do it automatically, or if we don't get it won't matter. But Sunderland are definitely, a worry. We'll see, won't we? We're going to play them twice, so we'll know. The only thing with Sunderland is we haven't actually played them yet, so we can't really talk about Sunderland because we don't know how good they are, do we? We've not played them. Yeah, Mike Peaks, I wonder if we progress and make the playoffs, if we might actually be allowed to go to the playoffs and the final. There's a chance. There's definitely a chance. They're saying by May, fans will be allowed to go to big events again. Big events are going to open in May, so there is a chance. I'm class to think we're going up. There's not many games. There's 19, Adam. There's 19 games. There's quite a few to go yet. We're only just over halfway, if you think about it. 23 will be the halfway point, so we're only just tipping over halfway. Sunderland scored 2. Yeah, they scored 2 worldies, didn't they? Apparently. Steve does say that. Yeah, I agree with that. We're now a club that players will want to come to, and you can see that the players that are coming know Critch already, don't they? They all know him. They've all had dealings with him, probably at the under 23 levels, and he's very, very well respected. And they know that he can. Well, they've all seen how he's coached the players at Liverpool, hasn't he, to get them into the first team? So they're well aware if they come to a team where the manager is a fantastic coach and he can coach them into better players. And we've already heard it from 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 Maxwell, he's actually said that this time he's had under Critch has made him forget about his 15 previous years of being a goalkeeper. It's taught him so much, that he's learned so much, that he's thinking the first 15 years of his career were wasted. If he'd have known this 15 years ago, he'd have probably been a better keeper than he is now. But you can see Maxwell is just so good, isn't he? Obviously, it's all down to coaching. Stephen Cram, thank you very much. Says, appreciate your tremendous channel. Your love for the club is tremendous with Jane. If and when we get back to normal, we have a meet-up. A final question. Clubs can't survive without fans in grounds. Revenue is vital for every team, especially in the lower tier. Yes, it is, of course. Football isn't football without fans. We all know that. We all know that. Well, we do in the lower leagues. Premier League, I'm not so sure. I think they've just forgotten about fans. But for us in the EFL and the lower leagues, football is all about fans. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think the heads had gone Charlton, weren't they? Because they were just outplayed yesterday. They just couldn't cope with us, could they? That first 20 minutes was probably the best I've seen Blackpool playing. It was amazing. I mean, it resulted in a penalty as well, but God, we were dominant in that first 20 minutes. We really took it to them, didn't we? Michael Hake said the first thing on Critch's list should be to bring Gabriel in on a permanent basis and to tie Sims down to a season-long loan, as well as hopefully getting Ballard in on loan as well. Well, that would all be brilliant, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely brilliant. But we didn't get Kieran Dewsbury all last season, did we? And we'd have loved to have got him, and look how well he's been doing. Oh. Joseph Billings, he said, Sunderland faced Tranmere in the final at Wembley in the Papa John's Trophy, and Sunderland don't want any fans there, but Tranmere does. Ooh, is that just before the playoff finals as well? That could be very key, couldn't it? Michael Hayes says 5,000 fans will be allowed in for sure next season, and the EFL and the Sports Minister Oliver Dowlett are considering having more fans in at some stage next season. Well, let's hope so. We need to be back, don't we? Lee Blake says he doesn't think anyone will be able to go to stadiums until the 21st of June. Hopefully he's wrong if we do get in the playoffs and indeed the final. I think everything at the moment is it's all speculative and speculation. You don't know how many of these injections they're going to get out. You don't know how much they'll have, just stopped it by June, do you? If the cases do drop dramatically with everybody getting injected, who knows? Who knows? Yep. Jack Barham, says Blackpool, when it should play you, we were awful. Yeah, we were awful both times. I totally agree. We were shocking in the first one at home. We weren't playing very well at the time. I don't know why they put it forward. We played you at a time where we were a bit lacking in confidence, and for some unknown reason, we went with a very strange setup to Ipswich and looked like we were terrified of you and just played really bad. I don't kind of gave you 3 points. So I totally agree with you. We were awful both times we played you, but those are really the most awful games we've played all season, just particularly against you. I don't know why. Eugene McGeevers here. Eugene. Blackpool boss hails Handful Sims. Good, yes. He has a very happy knack, does Critchley, of bigging up the players, doesn't he, and praising them all the time, which is just what you want to hear. You want to hear a manager that praises you and talks about you and it's not even like he bigs them up. He really is passionate about his players, and you can see he loves them. And he really likes the players, and you didn't get that with Larry, did you? You would blame the players for everything that went wrong. I'd like if Kieran says, what would your lineup be for Tuesday? I would stick with the lineup that started against Charlton. That would be my lineup for Tuesday. Exactly the same. I would keep that lineup. I think they did all right. I can't see any reason in changing it, to be honest. Nick Muller's here to tell us that Ipswich are going up. So you've heard it first from Nick Muller. We're not sure here, Nick. It's going to be, but you never know. Mike Peake says, I wonder how the takeover of Hong Kong might affect Simon Sadler's share company. I've no idea. I thought they'd already been taken over Hong Kong. I thought China had them anyway, didn't they? Wasn't that not? I thought we handed over Hong Kong to the Chinese. Who's taking them out? You might have to fill me on that because I don't know that one, Mike. So I don't know. Shazza Harvey says, no way, Nick. There you go. Burnley are 4 down as well. Michael Hay, as from May, there will be fans allowed into football grounds. How many is yet to be decided for the playoffs should Blackpool get there? So there we are. Michael Hay says the other way around. It's going to be May. So there's a good chance if we get there, if we're not automatic, could be automatic. If we have a 19-game or unbeaten run from now to the end of the season, we're promoted. Automatic, I would say. Right, I think that's it, folks. We've done an hour and 20 minutes talking about Blackpool yesterday. Just from my Hong Kong gone back to China, says Nick. I thought they already had. I thought they'd already done all that. I thought we'd already handed them back. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Pretty excited. I think this is one of the best looking teams that we've seen since Holloway. I'm excited about it. I think we can beat anybody in this division, whether we can or not, whether we've just got too many games to play. Time will tell. I think the next month, in this next month, we'll have a very good idea. Once we play Sunderland twice, we'll know even better. I'm just looking for, I just hope when we're coming back to this in a month's time that we're talking really positively like we are now. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed your company as always. We are back. We'll be back on Tuesday for our watch along with crew, and I will be here again for the Football Vloggers podcast, which is a regular show. We don't talk about Blackpool all the time on that though. So I know when I do that show, I get a lot of people posting Blackpool things all the time, and obviously I've got there's 5 or 6 of us in, and they're talking about all their clubs as well, but. We tend to talk about football in general rather than Blackpool on that one. So if you're interested in having a natter about football, then please come along for Monday night, 8 o'clock for the Football Vloggers podcast. That's tomorrow night. Tuesday, we're back for crew. David Scholes, just quickly, yeah, I did actually touch on this. One thing was apparent in the Critch interview, yeah, it was that he does his own work on each team and picks his side accordingly. Yeah, that did come across because he kind of said, we'd had him, been watching him and we knew how to beat him, and we played the way, and he was kind of saying that I'm glad that players put into practice what we'd been like teaching them, not put into practice, but put it on the pitch as how they've been practicing. They did what they were doing in training, did it on the pitch. That's what I'm trying to say. Blimey, get your words out, Lee. Right. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all hopefully on Tuesday. Hopefully it'll be another win. I feel it. I feel a win. I feel where the cogs are in motion and Blackpool are starting to get better and better and better. I can only see it getting better and better. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm going to get off. I will see you all either tomorrow or we'll see you on Tuesday for crew. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks as always for joining the chat. It's great. Thank you. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you.